Welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Authentic Man podcast, mini episode. And today I'm going to be talking about, this is something that's come to me. Literally, I was about to record something else, but I'm going to record this. This is about how as men we can be more masculine. Or even, women, or people who are not conforming to either gender. It doesn't matter. It's for anyone who wants to feel more masculine, to feel more in that masculine energy of consciousness, stillness, whatever you want to call it, taking action, even direction, and all those things. It is one of the things that I work with my clients most of all, because a lot of men come to me and they're like, I want to be more of a masculine man. I want to develop my masculinity. I want to show up better. And I do various practices with them, ask them to go and do things. We'll talk about certain things and so forth. But everything comes down to one principle, really. And I used to think it was more complicated than this. I used to think it was like, to be more masculine man, I need to be strong. I need to be tough. I need to be all these things. I need to, rescue damsels in distress and all those good things. And actually, it's just really hit me just literally just now, and I know this, but it really hit me as I was about to start to record this, is that ultimately to be more masculine as a man or a non-binary person or a woman, you just simply have to be present. Cultivate being really, really fucking present, like to what is, to what you're feeling in any moment, to what's happening around you in your life, to the people that you're talking to, right? To be present with what is in this moment that is happening now, and then now, and then now. In this moment, I'm super present to that I'm recording this thing and I have a message that I'm speaking, and I'm not so present to my thoughts about whether I look good on camera or I'm sounding good on audio, or the fact that I'm trying to record video and audio at the same time for my podcast and the video. I'm just present to what I'm saying. And that there is something in front of me, there's a light in front of me. I'm just present to that, and I'm present to my message, that the masculine energy in us that wants to come through and hold space for others and ourselves is really in a stillness and a presence. And the reason why I say it's just presence is that, so many men like I work with come to me is that they're overthinking, right? They're stuck in overthinking. They're like, I'm overthinking my dating, I'm overthinking my relationship, sex, whatever it is. And when we get really fucking present and we just stop and we slow down and be present to what is happening in any moment, even in the moments I'm having conversation with them, a lot of the story falls away. A lot of the bullshit falls away. A lot of the things about you have to be this or you don't have to be that. I can't be this, I can't be that. It just kind of falls away. And actually you're just present to what you're feeling. You're accepting of that because that is just what is, right? What you're feeling is just what you're feeling. And you can be with that and you can move into the next moment. Instead of trying to deny, push away, suppress, be angry at, all those sorts of things with the moment, right? And let's take this into another situation. Let's take this into your relationship. And this is something that's alive for me. It's always alive for me. I'm in a relationship. So anything I talk about is alive for me. It's happening in my life. You're getting into a disagreement with your partner, man, woman, child, whatever your partner is, non-binary, right? If your partner's a dog, it's the same thing, right? And you're in a disagreement. You're listening to what they're saying. You're hearing the words. And as long as you stay just hearing what they're saying, listening to them, present to them as a person, right? Not just their words, to them as a person. It might be the emotion, their body, how they're moving, how they're standing, what you can feel from them as well. If you stay present to that, you stay in the conversation. But actually what most of us do, 90% of the time, I would say maybe for myself, I feel I've got this down to about 40% of the time, maybe 30% of the time, is you get lost in your story of what you think they're like or what you think they're trying to say. And I hear those words, what you think they're trying to say, not what you feel they're saying, because that's a different thing, right? what you think they're saying. And what you think they're saying is usually based on your fears, your past experiences, and so forth. And in that moment, when you slip into your thinking, you're out of presence. You're not present to them anymore. And that's when your arguments fucking get crazy, right? Either your arguments go crazy the way that, used to happen to me 99% of the time, which I completely shut down on withdrawal and refuse to speak. Or you blow up and you go to the other end and you just start throwing words out you don't mean, shouting, get angry, throwing stuff. Maybe it gets physical in your case, right? And this is all because you're no longer present to what is actually happening, because you're lost in the story. You've been triggered into a response from the past and you're no longer there. And let's take this into dating, for instance, right? You're trying to go meet some girls in the bar, for instance. And you walk over, you start talking, or maybe you start walking over and you're starting to feel anxious, you're starting to feel worried, you're starting to feel fearful, you're starting to feel self-conscious. Boom, you're not present anymore because all you're doing is walking. If you're really present, you're just walking. And then when you arrive to talk to a woman, you've arrived and you're talking to her and you're just there as a body in your being curious about this other human being that's in front of you, and you're present to that curiosity, interest. Because as soon as you start going into, oh, is she going to like me? Is she not going to like me? What is she going to think of me? What should I say? What shouldn't I say? Boom, you're out of presence. You're in your story. And I'm not saying you're completely fucked, but for a lot of guys, a lot of you listening to this, as soon as you slip into that, you're out of the game. You're out of the interaction. You're out of the actual connection that's there in that moment. Let's take it to work. You go to work, you're in a meeting with your boss. He talks to you about some sales figures. Maybe you're not hitting. And instead of being able to be present to what did he say? What are the sales figures? What's actually happening in this moment? You slip into your story of, oh, you're not good enough, or your boss doesn't like you, or yada, 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 right? One of those things. And what does that happen? What happens there? You're out of presence. You're not there. You're not actually in a constructive place to really create from that moment. And this is a really important part, right? You're not creating from that very moment that's there as a new moment in time across all these situations. You're not dealing with the natural creativity and possibility in that moment. You slip back into thinking about your past stories, your past abilities, your lack of ability, and so forth. And this is why spiritual masters, teachers, non-spiritual teachers, presidents have talked about the power of things like meditation, spending time with nature, slowing down, and even just feeling the people in front of you, eye contact, paying attention, things like that, because these things all bring you back into presence. And egoically, your ego doesn't like you being present and in the moment, right? And being in this present awareness, because whenever you're there, your ego has no business, no doing, because your ego is basically based on story from the past, internalized messages, and so forth. So it's really that simple, actually, I feel this came to me literally as I was about to press record, and I was going to record something else, which I will record anyway. And I just realized it's it's just presence. That's it. Whenever your focus is out, your presence is lost, then you're out of this present moment. It doesn't mean you're always going to have problems when you're out of the present moment. But if you can look at most of the things that cause you stress, worry, angst, in the moment when the thing is actually happening, right? The reason why you're in stress, worry, and angst is because you're not present. You're not present to what's actually happening. You're not present to the creative moment that's actually there. You're present to these fears, these worries and anxieties, and those aren't based on the present moment, because in the present moment, there's nothing but you and them. There's something else that's some way back, right? So just a little message for everybody, even for myself, this is a great learning. This is why having a good morning practice is so important. This is some of the work I do with men I work with, is creating a morning practice. And a morning practice might sound like, oh, what's that going to be? Can I be doing jumping jacks and stuff? A morning practice for some men I work with is going for a walk. For some men, it's staring at a wall. Sometimes it's looking at a candle and all sorts of things. And all of these things can help you adjust yourself into the day and bring a level of presence into your day. And that just leaks across everything. I could talk about all these other dating and relationship things, but ultimately, if you can be really, really present gold. That's life-changing for you. If you can create a practice where for 60 days you're really, really present with yourself and the people in your life and what your body's feeling, not the mind generating everything, right? Just be really present to what is in each moment. Life-changing. Absolutely change your lives. But that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this. If it's useful to you, send it to someone, post it somewhere. You know, I encourage you to tell me what you've learned from this, what you're going to take into your life, because often as men, we're a bit shy to actually show up and go, oh, I got help from this thing. You know, I see this a lot with guys. You know, I probably have 20 women commenting below this. So I'm calling you guys to contact me, send a message. You know, how's this helped you? How's this been useful to you? What's it shifted in you, in your being? And if you want to speak to me, you can find me www.theauthenticman.net, or you can find me at on Instagram at theauthenticman_. And until then, ciao, ciao.